All right, welcome to another edition of Weather and Climate Chat, Monday, February 6th, 2017. Dr. Davis and Monsoon Mike. Dr. Davis, welcome to the show.
Good to be back.
Yeah, so last week we were talking about potentially some snow action on Super Bowl, and it looks like the only action that happened at the Super Bowl was the Patriots' amazing come from behind victory and Lady Gaga's performance, because that potential snow was a nothing over the weekend.
Yeah, we had a lot of dry air that
which we warned
would
probably happen. That's why we never forecast that far ahead. So.
Yeah, and at the time last week, it did seem like that storm was going to develop into something. But
right.
I think it was by Wednesday, I was showing my students weather analysis, the storms and models, and you could barely even define the storm.
You couldn't even find it.
Yeah, it was gone.
Every single model run, like every 6 hours, it just was, okay, it went from snow to light snow to snow showers to flurries to nothing. So
yeah,
it just
pretty
totally
much ran to that dry air and just
Yeah.
sucked all the moisture out of it, and that was it.
Now we have a rather potentially interesting week coming up with all kinds of weather for you. Today, as we're recording this on Monday, it's very nice out. We've got a nice, crisp, bright blue, sunny day. Temperatures in the 30s, and it's very nice.
We haven't really seen the sun for a while.
Yeah,
this winter either.
these pure sunny days have definitely been at a premium this winter. I think we had one last week, one day as well too. If I don't remember exactly.
Once a week.
Once a week. That's all you need. As long as you get it once a week, I guess that's sort of what they're used to. Like in London and Seattle, if they see the sun once a week, they're pretty happy.
Or Cleveland.
Or Cleveland. That's right. So, but we do have an interesting week, and again, for the next few days after today, the sun might be more, harder to find than not. Tell us what we have coming up in the next few days.
We have a high pressure system that's currently in place on Monday, which is what's giving us our nice weather. But that's going to be more of a fast-moving high-pressure system. It's going to be pretty much kicked out of here by this evening when we have a trough coming in from the north, which is going to be giving us a shot of some rain later on overnight and into tomorrow. No snow. It looks like it's going to be mostly a rain event. You and I were looking at the models before coming on the air, and it looked like all rain. I don't see any real snow associated with it.
I mean, the really only area that we have to mention, if anybody's listening, is far northern areas. And it looks like the Weather Service has issued a freezing rain advisory for counties like Carbon, Monroe, which is where you would expect maybe some.
I heard potentially up to 0.05 of an inch.
Yeah, maybe 500. Let's look what they're going for. Let's read the exact advisory. Freezing rain advisory in effect from 1 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tuesday for cities like Sussex, Warren, Carbon, Monroe. They're including Northampton and Bethlehem and Easton even in this one. So they included Northampton County, but I'm not even sure about that. But, they are saying that it's possible, and we should be careful. Southern Poconos, portions of northern Lehigh Valley, far northwestern Jersey, ice accumulations of less than 1/10 of an inch. Pockets of light freezing rain could develop toward daybreak on Tuesday, then change to plain rain. So it's just something to put out there if you're in any of those areas farther north.
Yeah, further north is where you're going to be running into potential glaze. But the main story is going to be the warmth, though.
Yeah, because
we're going to be starting to crank up the temperatures a little bit.
Yeah, we could have some. I haven't looked at the records for the next couple of days, and I haven't heard them mention any records being in jeopardy. So I'm assuming that probably records are not in jeopardy, but we'll be well above normal. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, we're going to be looking at low 50s, mid 50s potentially for Wednesday. And even into tomorrow, it should be pretty nice.
And if you go far enough south, maybe even pushing 60 down toward Philly, South Jersey, Delaware area.
It'd be like spring. I think the groundhog was wrong.
Maybe he was. That's right. He forecast the 6 more weeks of winter. So, yeah, Weather Service has for tomorrow for Kutztown, 19530, 53, and for Wednesday, 55. So I would say that's about right. So very nice temperatures, but not really nice day because we're going to have a lot of clouds and some rain around.
Yeah, we're going to have the rain to be contending with, but at least it'll be warm until the main front comes through Wednesday. That's going to knock us down back to more seasonal temperatures.
Wednesday's going to be a transitional day. It looks like that high temperature of 55 could happen earlier in the morning. Then we get the cold front, winds get gusty, temperatures drop quite significantly by the end of the day on Wednesday.
Low mid 30s. somewhere in
Yeah,
there.
it looks like a low. Yeah, and even Wednesday night they're forecasting a low of 26. So that's a pretty wide range from a high of 55 early on Wednesday to a low that night of 26.
And the
So,
winds aren't going to make it very pleasant either.
yeah, winds will be gusts as high as 23. It says so. Yeah, Wednesday will be kind of an ugly day.
Kind of rebound, though, a little Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, but what's interesting is when we were talking about this before is what could happen between Wednesday and Thursday. And again, it's still a ways off, so we're not getting excited about it. But the Weather Service did mention the P word, plowable. So that's interesting.
I thought it would have been precipitation.
Oh, there you go. But they did mention that the caveat is it's low confidence. But right after that cold front comes through, we have a low pressure over the Tennessee Valley that could try to zip through here, take advantage of that little batch of cold air that we have, and maybe give us a little bit of snow Wednesday night.
Yeah, it does look
Yeah.
like there's enough in the way of low-level and mid-level energy associated with it. You and I were looking at the vorticity charts,
Right.
which typically shows how much, more or less
Dynamics.
the dynamics of
Yeah.
the system and how easy it is to enhance the uplift from the storm itself.
Right.
So if we're starting to see that pretty much getting centered over us, generally it was over Thursday morning, like early
Yeah,
morning.
we're talking like 1 a.m., 2 a.m.,
the
Thursday
overnight
morning.
hours.
Yeah.
And
right.
then by 7 a.m.,
it's already moving out.
it looked like it was gone.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be a quick hitter if it is one, but it may give us an inch, maybe two, if everything comes together.
And also something to keep in the back of our head is the ground will have still been very warm from near 60 degrees.
2 days of
yeah.
50s or even
Right.
60, as you mentioned.
So it might be tough to accumulate. Whereas opposed to if we got a fresh batch of cold air and then we get some snow where it accumulates real quick, just like that. So
yeah, because the ground's already cold.
I'm not convinced, and you're not convinced this is going to be anything big, but it could be enough to bring out the salt trucks and a plow truck or two if everything went as planned.
Yeah, the models are suggesting it,
Yeah.
but you and I have some low confidence like the National Weather Service Philadelphia does in this storm.
How could you not after the way this winter has gone?
Yeah, we haven't had much snow, and I posted a few days ago that we've only got 2.9 inches of snow at Allentown.
And
for the
that's
year,
well below normal.
and
Yeah.
we should be about 16.3 inches.
And looking at last year, I mean, of course, everybody looks at if you look at the numbers raw last year without looking at the meaning behind it, you say, oh well, last year was a pretty active year. Well, yes and no. It all was in one storm. So
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
I think like 40 inches
Yeah.
ish for the total snowfall, and we got
like
30 of them.
30
all in
was
one
from
shot.
that one storm. So yeah, that's kind of deceiving as well. So generally, we've had taking that one storm out, we've had 2 winters that really haven't been that snowy around here.
Yeah, and
So-
last winter we had the 70 degrees around Christmas Day.
So I don't know what you want to attribute that to, if it's just a phase or if it's anything related to climate of any sort. But it's interesting if we'll see next winter. If
It is unusual,
Yeah.
and I do think that we're starting to see more way of these events being influenced by climate change.
I would say so. I would agree with you. I mean, I was careful not to,
I'll just be more direct.
Yeah,
so.
well, good. Thank you. Because you and I are careful not to, outright say that one particular event, like that, like 70 degrees on 2 Christmases ago, that's definitely
No,
climate
you
change.
cannot say that.
You cannot say it by one, but putting them all together, and we've had a lot of things that we can put together over the past couple of years, then you can start to probably say that.
When you're starting to see temperatures
Yeah.
10, 20 degrees above normal and less in the way of snowfall, it does start to
Raise some flags. Yeah.
raise some consideration that maybe this is indeed occurring.
One question that's been asked of me, and I'm not sure if I asked you this in a prior edition of the show, but I'm going to throw it out there again. And I can't say that I necessarily disagree with this question that's been asked of me by, I would say, at least 5 of my people on Facebook. We seem to be getting more wind. I don't know what that would be attributed to, but it just seems that I don't remember when I was younger, and these 5 people that came to me don't remember when they were younger, there being as many actively windy days as there are now. Is there anything to that? Have you heard anything about that? But we just seem to be like more of more windy days around here. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and wind is generally going to be created by differences in pressure, which
Right.
revolve around differences in temperature.
Okay.
So if you have these sharp temperature changes that occur, you're going to be inducing a lot
There
more
you
in the
go.
way of windy conditions. So that does stand to reason that if you have these large swings, then you should be getting more wind.
More wind. Ah, that makes sense.
And
Okay.
if you have more energy in the atmosphere brought about by differences in temperature again, you're going to incur that those windy conditions.
Okay.
Now, whether or not there's some sort of long-term pattern to that, I don't think I can readily
Right,
state that.
obviously.
But I do think that there is some credence to it.
Okay. Well, that's good because you're the first person to actually at least throw me a bone with that issue. Because I keep getting that question asked of me, and the fact that it's been asked of me at least 5 times over the past few months makes me kind of say, yeah, maybe these people are onto something.
And also in this region too, we have a lot in the way of topography.
Right.
So you could be channeling the wind, so it could be more of a
Sure.
localized influence by
Sure.
just general topography increasing the wind. Generally speaking, though, the springtime around March and April is typically our windiest
That makes
of
sense.
the year.
That makes sense.
So we could just be seeing a increase in the amount of wind into, say, late winter, early spring,
That
which
makes
would be
sense.
kind of reinforcing our climatological observations.
Okay. And then just looking ahead, after our potential little snow event early Thursday morning, Friday, it looks like we break back out in the sun, but it's pretty chilly. Highs only in the 30s. But right away again, we rebound. And it looks that by the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, looking far out, back well into the 40s. So the fluctuating temperatures continue.
Yeah, we're going to be kind of on the seesaw, I think, for most of February. Now, what's interesting, though, is the Climate Prediction Center. I don't know
just
if
going
you
to their
saw
site right
those
now. I'm just going
maps,
right now. No.
but they had the western U.S. just drenched in red for being well above average for temperature-wise.
Yeah, this is the 8 to 14
Yeah,
day.
that's what I'm looking at. Now, most of the U.S. is what we're seeing right now is well above average, or at least
Right.
have a good chance, with the central part of the U.S. being the highest probability.
Yeah.
And that's even, well, I don't know what you're looking at there. But
That's the 6 to 10 day. So from February 11th to 15th, we're well in the red. Really, the only part of the country that's normal is Washington, Oregon, and a little part of Idaho.
in the Pac Northwest, yeah.
Yeah.
And then below up in Alaska.
Alaska, of course, yeah. And then the 8 to 14 day, pretty much the whole country except northern New England is above normal. So
And what does the whole month say?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it still well above?
let's see. You got to help me here again because I'm like hard to see from over here. Outlooks.
Yeah, there you go. If you just click on the homepage, it should do that.
Okay, let me just go back to the homepage. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Here we go. Oh,
There you go.
okay. Here
Yeah.
we go.
1 month.
There we go. 1 month outlook. Most of the country
Again, New
leaning
England.
above normal, except New England with equal chances.
Maybe the upper Great Lakes, too.
Yeah. Okay. Now that map was made on January 31st, so not that long ago.
Next 3 months?
Next 3 months,
Warmer.
we're kind of right on the border of above to equal chances. So
That'd be for March, April, May.
March,
correct?
April, and May, right? Yep. So there you have it. Looks like the general trend of above normal continues.
Yep.
I guess this is just something we got to get used to.
It looks like warmer temperatures for February, at least.
Yeah, yeah. So
Kind of goes along the lines of none of my colleagues, I think, have been stating that winter, when's it coming? And they said, like me, for instance, I said January, we didn't really get it.
right.
We got some cold air, but we didn't get any snow.
Now that doesn't mean that we couldn't have some surprises because some surprises can
certainly,
happen later February, even March.
Even in April, too.
Some of our biggest snows have happened in March. 1993, even as recently as 2007, we had I think 10 inches on March 16th. I remember that because my daughter was born then, and I remember it snowing. So yeah, anything can happen.
Yeah, we could definitely get hit by a big storm out of pretty much nowhere. I mean,
Right.
this storm that we were looking at for Wednesday and the Thursday, that doesn't look like much of anything, and then it just blows up once it gets over by West Virginia.
Right. So that looks like to be our hope for any plowable snow for you snow bunnies out there is something that kind of surprises us a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's if we do get a blast of snow, it'll probably be one of these quick hitters that come
Right.
in and out really fast.
Might be the trend. All right. So let's see where we are time-wise. We got about 15 minutes down, so I guess we'll end it about here. Just to recap, a couple of warm, rainy days, maybe a touch of snow, and some cold weather followed by warmer weather. How's that for a summary?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
And I will also say, pay attention to my students
Please.
who've been
Oh, yes.
making their weather forecasts.
Please.
Several of them have already made theirs.
Mm-hmm.
We have 10 students in the course, so they'll be pretty much flipping every other week. So we got
Yeah.
5 new ones this week, and then we'll be right back to the ones that gave theirs previous week.
And they've been doing a great job, and they air during our hourly newscasts, so check those out. All right, Dr. Davis, Monsoon Mike, we're signing out, and we'll see you next week. Or let's just throw it out there that if ever there's a pending, potentially decent, imminent storm, we'll try to record something ahead of time. So
Sounds good.
So if you want snow, you'll want to hear our voices. Put it that way.
Yes, we'd be good news.
We'd be good news. We'll see you later.